Morning, everybody. You're welcome to the Discourse with Jimi Disu, brought to you by MTN. Good morning. Now, during the week, I think it was on Wednesday, the former political advisor in the office of the Vice President, Akim Baba Ahmed, wrote an open letter to the President. And the thrust of the letter, amongst other things, was saying that in 2027, the President should please allow younger people to run. And why I took an interest in that is what I had believed in, even long after what's this gentleman's name, Buhari. I had believed that it's time for us to have a new slate, a new generation run Nigeria. We can't. My belief is that we can't still have these same old people having your presidents at 70, whatever, your ministers and whatever. In today's world demands, I think, people with the prerequisite training and experience, which older people wouldn't have. That's my generation. And that I believe also very strongly that we need to give way to a younger generation to push this country forward. We can't be doing things in the old, like they would say, analog manner, and I want to get digital benefits. So, having identified with that, I thought I would expand it today. Now, this is nothing against President Tinubu, to be honest with you, or whether I feel he's doing well or not. I just believe that the future of this country belongs to the young people. I mean, General Gawan ran this country, I think he was in his 30s. The late Chief Rashid Gbadamosi was a commissioner at 28. And he did well. Bolaji Johnson, all of them. King Dete Spiff, all of them were very young people. And they did well. Even Ojukwu, when he was head of president or whatever of Biafra, was a young man. And therefore, it's a bit of a strain on some of us to see the same people for 30 years and you expect something different. I believe that Nigeria at one point needs to make a turn. And like I said, it's not an APC or I wanted to say UPN. I'm thinking, oh no, that's from this UPN. So I told you, so I kept the letter for me. I'd like to thank Sheriff for preserving the letter. He kept it in the fridge at a normal temperature. So the letter is here. And I said to myself, rather than sit down, read the letter, and let you phone in, there's one area in the media I never joke with, and that's the news editors. When I remember the first news editor I ever got in touch with, Chief Theo Ola, he was the news editor that time in the Daily Times. News editors are powerhouses. When I remember Frank Aibogun, also of the Vanguard, they are powerhouses. The kind of information they have with them, and they're not talkative. If you know Oniora Anwubido, I got your Onwobodo. If you don't know Ravelwe, he's not talkative. He has the mien of this editor, Jide Ajani, all of them, So I said, I have a good resource man inside here. Let me tweak his brain and let the two of us look at it. And then, of course, we'll take contributions from you. Like I said, this has, for me, it has very little with whether the president is doing well or not. As far as I'm concerned, they are not doing well. And as far as I'm concerned, it's time we need a new thinking. Okay, we need a new thinking. We can't keep going with the old school that have various alignments, religious, and we need a new thinking. The average 35-year-old, 40-year-old person is a complete Nigerian in a way. Forget what you see in the newspapers. They're different. They're different from our generation. They've done youth service. They've lived in various countries. They've mingled. They've intermarried and so on and so forth. These little things, believe you me, they matter. And most of all, the new governance styles. They have sensitivities. They were born, they've grown up in the days of the social media. So they appreciate a whole lot of things. You don't want to have a president, for example, who says that he doesn't care about whatever is said in the social media. He doesn't listen to them. Occasionally, he will get his children or his... No. That's not the way to go. Anyway, Nora, good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
Have you read the letter?
Yes, I have.
Is your own as preserved as mine? See, look at it. This is room temperature.
No. I won't preserve mine, because if I preserve it, it's going to occupy a space in my brain.
Occupy space in your mind. What did you think? What occurred to you when you read this letter?
Actually, I think it's still the thought of Hakim Baba Ahmed. That is his opinion. But the issue is that when we talk about him living for others, we always ask, for who? The younger ones we are talking about, are they ready to actually take up the mantle of leadership as it is?
No younger ones are ever ready. They must be given the opportunity.
Nothing is given.
You have to grab it.
Nothing is free, even in Freetown. So it's not given. The bottom line is that there must be an aspiration, an enthusiastic nature to get in. There's a streamlined form of coming into the political arena, which is coming into politics. Have they actually made effort to come into politics, or to be used as a tool to destabilize the system? When we want to talk about leaving it for, it's a paradigm shift. It's a total shift from what it used to be, because people grew from the line. You grew, you study, you understand, you see somebody as a mentor. Are we coming to bring somebody that will see this generation as the people that have mentored them? And then what will we be expecting if they are going to replicate what they learned from this? If your mentee act the way you act, you see that you're going to actually do what's called play theory in journalism. It's going to parrot some of the things that you do. But along the line, it's going to actually tilt or do something that is individualistic in his own way of thinking. So the bottom line, nobody's grooming. Well, come to think of it, we actually believe that the current president, groomed some people. So what we should be thinking now, most of the people you groomed, or when we say that he made this person, is it not time to actually give room for some of the people that he groomed to actually come to play or to come to the limelight? So I will not say that what Hakim Baba Ahmed said is not good. It is a good idea to take us to where we're about. While we are looking at it, we should only view the fact that, who are we handing over to?
I beg to differ, and I think that if the current generation, that is my generation really, if they have been truthful to themselves, you groom successors. What has made other countries progress is that you have these people at the back end. Some of them you never get to know. I can tell you for free that who is likely to be a prime minister 30 years from now in the United Kingdom is decided that by some powers that be. Nothing happens by accident. The truth is that our generation have been very selfish. Yes, they've been selfish, they've been bad. How can you say, and I disagree with you, that we can't have a 45-year-old person in the whole political landscape to run this country? Have you heard some of the young people you have in these parties, in the APC, in the PDP, in Labour? The last president we had was above 80 plus. This one that we have, well, on paper he's 73. But we can't have a president that keep picking up medical bills and not around when it matters. Do you understand what I'm saying? I believe that if the parties, if we had the party structure, if we had proper parties, they would have been grooming some young people. I've met some very young. The day I watched this man, I keep saying it. The day I watched Chidoka, what's his name? The guy who was a minister, brilliant person. He's relatively young. What are you saying? I grew up with the likes of Patu Tomi and Atedo Peter Side. I grew up. I'm in the same generation with what's the lawyer now? The son, Agbakoba. Do you know what these guys were doing at 20-something? Patu Tomi was already in Shagadi's cabinet. Yes. So it's whether he's speaking for a generation or not, we the people need to put pressure on the politicians, because for the politicians at the end of the day, it's all about money and it is my turn. How can it be your turn at the twilight of your life?
Jimmy, I think in order to solve a problem, let us not create a problem. We might create a problem. Yes. You know why I say this?
Yes.
Let us come back home.
Yes.
You can see the local government election that is going over in Lagos State. Did you see that some people are disgruntled? They don't want to go, because you know why I say they are disgruntled? Because somebody is trying, I don't want to mention names, trying to impose the song.
You are talking of Obasa now. Why not
you just said it. So the issue now is
I don't believe the issue is not because he's young.
Yeah.
This issue is because some people believe that the process which will produce him has been compromised.
So the same thing will happen. That's why I said let us not create problem.
We are not saying they should train their own children.
Good.
That's not the way it works.
The issue now is that when we champion this cause, we start making it to be something that people will buy in. The youth should buy into it. For example, some of us started for allow the young leadership something, and somebody became a governor in a state. We noticed what happened. Can we study? Because he who cannot remember the past is bound to repeat it. If we don't remember what happened with the youth that we gave opportunity to lead, we will get a monster that we cannot control, because these people are savvy. These people are people that can easily manipulate situations. So automatically, I buy the idea. It's a very good idea.
Mr. Nora, let us even look at examples.
Okay.
Look at the thinking of the man in Burkina Faso. It's not perfect.
It is not.
It's not. But it shows a lot of promise. Now, are you telling me, as we speak today now, what are we looking forward to in 2027?
In 2027, it's going to be a game that...
Is anybody going to live forever, Mr. Nora?
No.
See, in corporations, they tell when you are 65, you should retire. There's a reason for that. Nigeria needs somebody of energy and vision, not carrying the whole baggage. My generation has its own baggage that it's been carrying. The young ones don't have it. You can't continue dragging baggage from behind and dragging it forward. And I don't. When people tell me that, can you tell me any young man? Come on. The young people of this country, believe you me, they are performing wonders in the private sector. Oh yes. You give them a chance, but it's because they've made the political situation it's so murky.
Now you're talking, because I say I bought the idea. I'm totally in support of the idea of giving the young ones opportunity, because let me tell you, there should be
young man. What is that boy? Oh no, please don't adjust your age.
No, I will not. But I'm still within the bracket.
yes.
I'm still within the bracket. I'm not of your age, so I'm still within the bracket. But the issue is, it's not something that is given. It's not something that it will come on the platter.
I agree with you in that regard. But isn't it time we put that? Because all of us are suffering for it.
We are.
All of us are suffering for it. I mean, if you look at if you look at when I see people of my own generation, I knew what we were doing. I mean, for God's sake, I got a job opportunity at 32 that would have been done by a retiring person. At 32, the chairman at that time said, I like this young man, let's push him up. And that's it. The same with Patu Tommy. The same with Atedo Peter side. The same, all this, we all had very good opportunities. And now our generation are at the top, we've shut the door. In fact, I think Atedo has a voice note somewhere. I wish I could find it and play it. If we don't rise up and decide as a people, as a nation, that we need to move away from the old guard, do you think, for example, that any young man, it's very unlikely that you'll have a young man who will be a leader and will only put his kinsmen in the most sensitive positions? First of all, he can't even gather enough of his kinsmen to do that. You understand? Because he has grown up in a different environment. That alone is one major subject that has held us down. Because it is my belief that if you have a president or whatever who practices nepotism, the other appointees will sit back, fold their arms, and say, let him continue with his kinsmen, and let's see how far it would get him. Okay, but let me read part of the letter from
Hakim Baba Ahmed.
Hakim Baba Ahmed. He said, there's a quote here, said, Baba Ahmed argued that Tinubu's best option for a dignified political exit would be to voluntarily step aside and allow younger leaders to emerge. Step aside, not for your opponents, for a new generation of Nigerians who can carry the nation forward with fresh energy and ideas. Our generation has done its time. It would be a masterstroke if you and your party yielded the field to new voices and new leadership. That way, you could catalyze a peaceful historic transformation and inspire a new political culture rooted in merit, unity, and progress. He added that the president should reflect on the legacy he wishes to leave behind and how history will remember him. You hold what your opponents lack, the power to reduce the harshness of life for the average Nigerian. Use it well. Watch 2027 years, but don't become consumed by it. Baba Ahmed, who recently resigned as special advisor on political matters in the president's office, acknowledged that the administration inherited a troubled economy and an exhausted populace. However, he criticized Tinubu's inability to convert the momentum of his inauguration into effective leadership. So,
yeah, the thought is there because, really, it's a good idea. Like I said, it's not about the issue.
Can I correct you there?
Okay.
I don't think it's a good idea.
Okay.
I think it's an inevitable idea. I feel that if we continue going across this path that has led us here, where do we think we're headed? Where do you think we're headed?
Inevitable, yes.
It's an inevitable path. You've been doing the same thing now for God knows. Forget the individual. It's the same old process of people, the same generation.
But, Jimmy, do you know that there must be a paradigm shift from the way we think, our mental, the way we think as an average like that? Because the youth, I'm not
the way we think like people who are mentally exhausted.
So that is why we are going to make sure that our youth do not take over the issue of the mental exhaustion that we have actually
don't seem to recognize that even the average 35 educated 40-year-old is more sophisticated than our own generation.
Yes, in terms of tech, in terms of the savvy, in terms
when you get to a particular age, you begin to look behind. You begin to look behind. Every time I sit down, I think of, oh, I remember what I did this. I remember what is that. When you are young, you look ahead. What kind of education did some of our generation even get? How exposed were they? Our generation, some of them are still subservient to the Western world. The young people have greater confidence than that. They believe they can match them. So it's a whole lot. And unless we have a generational shift.
So now you're talking. This generational shift should be a generational shift that will think of leadership. Think of leadership, that we think it is time to step in. It is time to not be on the shadow. It's time not to say on your mandate. Whose mandate? Will you keep on being on that mandate for thy kingdom come? It's time for us to start having a mental shift from what we believe that at the end we will be on the street, we will snatch the box, we do. So let us start thinking on how to groom them, how to make the youth.
They are groomed.
The young ones.
Oh no, actually. So they don't let's pretend as if we have a bunch of youths who don't know what they are doing.
No. Far from that.
Nigeria has a lot of young people who can carry this country forward.
Bear in mind
lots of them. Check out the private sector and see what's going on.
Bear in mind that you said they should be given a chance. In politics, it's not about giving you a chance.
Whether in politics, we shouldn't think of politics. We should think of our country first. What is all this thing about politics? We must grab power. Must you grab it? Can't we have a group of people that would say that, look, this is what are all these old people, Obasanjo, IBB, all of them, who have put their lives on the line for the nation, whatever you might think about them. People like that, even the president himself. But for the likes of Bola Tinubu, there'll be no politics. Okay, so you've gotten politics. Shouldn't you be forward-looking and saying that this is the next direction in which the country should go?
If we think Nigeria.
Because sorry, Honora, we keep taking leadership as something to compensate certain persons for what they have done. That's not the way it should be. This country belongs to every individual, 220-something million people. So, it's not a cake to be shared.
So I think it is time to start calling the youth to get involved in the politics, because that's the only way to lead towards that.
But leadership. I also think that as responsible elders, it's time you start thinking of thinking of a handover instead of all dying one by one and then leaving a vacuum all of a sudden. Can we take calls, madam? Good morning. This is your first day with us today.
Yes.
What is your name, ma'am?
My name is Wonderful.
This is wonderful.
Wonderful.
This is wonderful. I almost thought it was somebody else sitting next to me because it looks so much like that person.
Okay.
Okay. Can we take calls?
Yes.
0201-277-0993 and 0201-465-7190. I think we have a call already. Hello, good morning. Hello? 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 Pick the other one. Hello? Hello? Okay, keep trying. 0201-277-0993 and 0201-465-7190. Hello? Okay, let me quickly read this while she's sorting out this. It says that so he also talks about don't lose momentum, don't lose governance momentum till in 2027. It says your governance is seen as disconnected and exclusive. Baba Ahmed said the president's style of leadership has isolated him from the people and those who could help him succeed. Your closed-door style of leadership, your apparent indifference to complaints of ethnic bias in appointments, and the perception that you frequently run the country from abroad while attending to personal matters have created the image of an isolated leader heading an insular administration. Also, you remember it was this week that, this time last week that Pastor Tunde Bakare also
released the...
Yes. But there's a Senator Ajibola Bashiru, and he said on channels last week that the Tinubu-led administration has lived up to its campaign promises. I don't know what those campaign promises are, but sorry. 1 second, please. He rated the government's performance at 78%. Hello, good morning. Hello? Hello?
Hello, good Jimmy. Good morning.
Morning. How are you?
Fantastic. On the topic of the youths, right? Two of them, I'll give you 2 examples. Peter Edu, that they gave that department. All of his own said she mistakenly transferred billions to her account, right? You transferred billions, you didn't know that you're going to transfer it back the next day. You kept quiet until they caught you. Now, the Minister of Communications, who is a very young guy, what's that his name? Bolajo, what's his name? That one too. All of a sudden, in the first few months, we heard so many things from him. All of a sudden, we started hearing, oh, they burnt our office and this and this. And since last year, we've not heard anything from the Minister of Communication, which is surprising because a lot of things have been going on, kidnapping. How are those people communicating? How are those people? We're supposed to see action from these people, but I don't know if they are being shot by the other people, other seniors in the policy. I really don't know. Right. And now the youth are afraid to even come out to vote, to hold up positions, because once you talk, they arrest you, and you might even be in prison for years.
Okay, thank you. Remember, thank you, sir. When you call in, you have just a minute. I think your point has been made. You want to make any reference to that?
No. The only reference I have to make is that, like I said earlier on, we need to start thinking of how to change the mentality, the mindset of an average youth to not be a tool to be used to achieve the goal. The bottom line is that, yes, the youths, your generation have actually caught a role for them.
Maybe you said you are close to my generation.
No, I'm
Why
not.
are you pointing to me?
My generation. I'm not.
You have betrayed me or not?
No, I'm not.
You have betrayed.
I'm not within your generation.
This is a betrayal. Okay, but I think the point, when I hear things like that, because one youth did this and did that, the elder ones are worse, but they don't get caught immediately.
Yep.
They're good at the game. It's the example that people see from it's called follow your leader. It's the example that people see.
The mentor I mentioned, you see it?
These are people that mentor these people. So that's why we need it. If we need the fresh thinking.
Thank you.
Do we have another caller? I have just 2 minutes before we go on break. Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah. You see, politics with Sunday is my name, calling from Bariga.
Yes, sir. Politics
in Nigeria is not as it used to be in those days when I was young. But today's one is a power tussle. Because you can see recently somebody came from somewhere and said, oh, I can rule, I have all it takes to rule Nigeria. When you are governor somewhere, you think, let's just put it, 36 states, like before. It's easy to rule, like you are ruling a just one state. It is not, because these people don't have anything to do rather than to get there and embezzle, get rich, get wealth, all that they needed for themselves and their family. Okay. They don't care about us poor people. That's
okay.
All. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. We're going to have to take a short break now. I don't like this thing jumping up at me at will. I'd rather take a short break now. And when we come back, Honora, he has betrayed me. Let's keep that record. He has betrayed me. At the beginning, it was my generation, but now he has decamped. He has decamped.
That is what is invoked now.
That is what is invoked now. Somebody cracked a joke that even INEC will soon decamp. We'll take a short break and then we'll be right back. Don't go away.
Hustling every day to get his daughter through school. The artisans grinding every day to earn their urgent 2K. To the farmers, scientists, teachers, the doctors who do what they do so we can learn, live, and grow. The entrepreneur with his hustle, waiting for Baba to pick his call. To us Nigerians, doing our best daily to make ends meet. The world is yours. The world is ours. Let's go. Let's grow. Go make a difference with MTN Data. To the man hustling every day to get his daughter through school. The artisans grinding every day to earn their urgent 2K. To the farmers, scientists, teachers, the doctors who do what they do so we can learn, live, and grow. The entrepreneur with his hustle, waiting for Baba to pick his call. To us Nigerians, doing our best daily to make ends meet. The world is yours. The world is ours. Let's go. Let's grow. Go make a difference with MTN Data.
And now, we are back on the Discourse with Jimi Disu. The Discourse with Jimi Disu.
The Discourse with Jimi Disu
continues in a moment.
You're welcome back to the Discourse with Jimi Disu, brought to you by MTN. Mr. Honora and I, we've been discussing the suggestion of Hakeem Baba Ahmed, who was a political advisor for 18 months and who claimed that he never gained audience with the president till he left. Because in his opening letter, and that's why I had to write this open letter, he was a special advisor on political matters and in the office of the vice president still. Because he said here, Mr. Honora, listen carefully. He said, I had hoped I would have the opportunity to meet you one-on-one for the first time since you approved my appointment as special advisor on political matters in the office of the vice president about 18 months ago. So for the 18 months, he never had a one-on-one interaction. But remember, he was in the office of the vice president. And I'm just wondering, I thought that the advisor on political matters in the president's office would more or less be advising the vice president, because there should be 2 in 1. I don't know how that works, in all honesty. But he says he never got the audience, and I insist on resigning despite efforts to dissuade me by the vice president, some ministers, key officials, and a host of people I hold in highest esteem. I think this gentleman also is one of the top officials of the Northern Elders Forum. Spokesman. Is Mike.
Hakeem Baba Ahmed is that?
Yes.
He has been part of this system. So coming up now to say this, and even another person said it would have taken. He was a one-time secretary of INEC, 2003.
Is that why he shouldn't?
2007.
Is that why he shouldn't tell the president?
No. It's good that he's saying it. I'm not against him saying what he said. The issue is that what my point has always been, while we are saying that we should first of all start making the youth think towards that, having a mental alertness, mental readiness to say, okay, I want to step into leadership. I'm not against.
Why do we keep treating our youth as if they are primary school kids?
No, they are.
Are you telling me that you can't assemble 50 people aged between the ages of 40 and 60? You can't point to 40 people you go come on and say, you come, take. What are you training them for?
Did you see what Sheikh Sani did of recent? He called some youths of the Fulani extraction and said, we can't continue in this trajectory. We can't continue in this way. We are going towards this. Let us start thinking towards a different direction. So I think he has started a process. It's something that some of these leaders should start and not just being. So, excuse me.
Wait. The direction in which you are going whether Jimmy or Mr. Disu, the director of the want to run away from my generation. Listen, we have people, young people when we say young, we are not talking of school kids. You are talking of captains of industry, people in their 40s, in their 50s. Okay? You are talking of well-experienced people, some too are 50 times more exposed than even those in power. What are you saying? Why do you say we have to train them, we have to do this? No. The thing is that we have to deliberately, in some countries, and it's happened in Nigeria before, they go hunting for the best. Some of them are even approached. Some people are approached that, look, we need your expertise here. Come. That's what we are saying. What kind of education and experience do our current leaders have? Where has it gotten us? And I don't like this idea when we talk about youth. It's like, we have to go and start to begin to train. Come on.
No. You see, you are talking about hunting them.
No, you said
to gather them.
You went to gather some people. That's not what we are saying. 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 I don't think so. We shouldn't. When we talk about giving opportunity to youth, it's not as if did anybody have to train Gawan to run this country? Did anybody have to train Obasanjo to run the country? Remember, he was a youth at that time. But Obasanjo was in his 40s.
But in terms of hierarchy, what thing we don't understand when we talk about the military and the civilian, listen, in terms of hierarchy, military has to obey the hierarchy. They have to. It is a structure.
In the political,
a regimented form.
In the political dispensation, if you had allowed the parties grow properly,
good,
you would have the same.
If we had allowed, not.
But it's deliberate.
So that deliberate
no.
Is what
see, what has happened? What has happened has been deliberate, and it's because of the greed, mainly. It's because of the greed of the political leadership.
We've come back to that point I've been making. It is skewed in a way that there won't be succession. But we have been giving this, our president, that accolade that he trained some people. That's why I said at the beginning, I said, why won't some of the people that will keep saying that he trained, he did this, for him to say, okay, take up this. Do you remember that? Do you remember that the vice president would have been an opportunity?
Now,
but what happened?
Now,
what happened?
I want you to let us be sincere with ourselves.
Professor Oshibajo would have,
even though Oshibajo is my friend, was my classmate in primary and university, is my friend. I wouldn't we be in a better position if at least we won't be picking up his medical bill? Let's tell ourselves the truth, my friend. Yes, now. And rather, what happened when he said he had that aspiration to come? They wanted to treat him as a traitor. Traitor for what? If we don't want to tell ourselves the truth, let's call it a day and go home.
That is the truth we are saying now.
What I expected immediately after the performance of Buhari, which everybody believes was dismal, is to say, let's look in a much younger and exposed direction. In which case, we had Peter Obi in the field. We had. I just want you to close your eyes and imagine if you had a presidential contest between Peter Obi in the PDP and Oshibajo in the APC. Wouldn't we have had
ideas? Would have been a contest of.
That's what we are talking about now.
Facts. But the issue is that.
But what we had, the Nigerians voted for somebody who refused to debate.
Somebody told you this is his turn. It is not.
You see now.
Somebody told you.
You have hit the nail on the head.
And tomorrow it will still be. So until we make it the turn of Nigerians, then we'll start thinking of the youth coming to.
I have a message for you.
Go on.
From a lady called Mabel, and she says that if the younger ones are not given an opportunity, how will you know or appreciate the leadership styles they possess? It is time for a paradigm shift in Nigeria. I don't know her age, I don't know if she's a youth or not.
Like I said, I am not against that paradigm shift. But what I'm saying is that you don't give something to somebody who is not willing to actually. And the bottom line,
who is not
get
willing?
Into politics.
Let us
start encouraging the youth to get into politics first.
Hold the affair.
Is that the only process constitutionally
who is
enshrined?
Who is not willing?
is he willing to come and then replicate the
Nigeria
the
is
act
not
of,
Nigeria is not a cake that people put knives in and share. We've done that for long. See where it has gotten us. Now we are impoverished. This idea that Nigeria belongs to me, it is my own turn to. It's not going to get us anywhere. After his turn, whose turn is it next?
Well, let's start advocating the turn of Nigerians, and that is where you now see the system will throw up the youth. We throw up a system, because if it's going to be on merit, that is when we now. But when you, it's just like let me deviate a little. It's just like women now advocating that we must give in the affirmative action. We must giving women a chance.
I know that woman.
So that's why I said let us not go, because if we deviate.
But you have gone there. You said let us not go there.
Okay, am I there already?
Yeah, there already. Let's pick a call. Oh no, that will not kill me.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Joy.
Can you please put the phone to your mouth, please? I can get an echo.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Looks like
okay.
You're on speakerphone.
No, I'm not on speakerphone.
Are you in a place that is tiled up?
No.
Okay, I'm getting
I think
an
it's
echo.
because of the rain or something.
Oh, okay.
Now.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. So, quick one. Leo, I am not for let the young or whatever, because the young is as corrupt as the old. So the issue we are having now is corruption, and that is what it is. And even we had, when I was in university, Odis Okalo was a governor. He was one of the youngest governors. What happened? He did nothing in Abia State. He did nothing. And see OT now. How old is OT? He's working. So for me, I think it is the corruption is much in the system right now. So as it is in the old people, it's the same thing with the young people. So I need a leader who is patriotic. Even if you're old, you can also be old and forward thinking. If you don't know what is happening now, like for the Gen Z, you can pick people in your cabinet that are young that will also help you. When they advise you, you listen, and also see things happening in the world. But what we have now is people who are just politicking, just for them to be there to amass wealth. Okay. And for this, even Yahya Bello was young. What happened? So we have young people that are still doing what? In fact, they are the best schemers. They will help the old people to teach them what to do, how to go to system and do this and do that to get things done and to steal and all that. So for me, I just want a patriotic Nigerian that can do the right thing. Okay. Old, young, whoever. Give us a good electoral system to choose people at a level playing ground, and we have young people who come, and our district will not be expensive as it is right now.
Okay, madam.
Thank you.
Yes, that's cool for thought, though.
Yep.
You can't ignore what she has just said.
Yeah.
Can't ignore what she has just said. But I still believe that this country needs a new thinking process. And could jolly well need a set of people that would discard all the old order that has been holding us down.
But they will keep holding us down until we deliberately work to sustain.
I want to see this country succeed before I die now, and the time is going.
While you are taking that way, they are thinking of making sure that the system buries them.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Uncle Jimmy, good morning, sir.
Morning, how are you?
But I want to greet you. Happy birthday in Arias.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, quickly, 1 minute.
Uncle Jimmy, last election in 2023, a young man came out, which is in person of PTOB. What happened at the long run? We only know that all the dreams of the young ones have been swept under carpet by the old ones. The old ones whom have never wanted to give power to the young ones. Even the ones that are in power now, they have a son, they have daughters who are young enough, who are come to become in that position. Like our present president now, he has a Cheyi as his son. Can't he hand over that next 27 elections? Cheyi come out as a president? Can't he do that? So the dreams of the old ones is to kill the dreams of the new ones. Even the one who is there, who is pretending that his son is he doesn't have a good vision for him, because all is for himself. So all the dreams of the old ones is to kill the dreams of the young ones. So it is now better for the young ones to rise, irrespective of political affiliations, gotten by the parent or whosoever is grooming them.
Okay, sir.
Because whatever grooming is coming here is corruption groom.
Okay.
So we need to rise up and fight against these ones in order to have what we need is revolution.
Point noted, sir.
Revolution is what we need.
Point noted, sir. I don't know about revolution. I don't think revolution has never produced, especially if it's violent, it's never produced. What it does is that it produces a new set of tyrants. Yes.
That believe that it's their strengths that actually led to
it. I just wish that we had patriotic leaders. We don't. Nigeria doesn't have patriotic. That phrase alone throws patriotism out of the window, that it is my turn.
Yeah.
It connotes something that isn't pleasant to the ear.
You see, leaders of tomorrow will keep using for the youth is something that we need to expunge.
Like what?
You don't keep saying leaders of tomorrow. Their tomorrow hardly comes. They are leaders of today.
But in a way, I blame the young generation, because guess what? They have the numbers and they have the wide network. But I think that, that culture has been passed on from that older generation to them. So they don't know that. If you all have a common enemy, get rid of the common enemy, and then
within you now start.
Then in a hurry. And what usually falls my hand once I start referring to, like, the minister, that woman, what's her name, the female minister, and this and that. But also, I mean, in the same vein, you can look at the performance of some of the ministers. Some of them are young people, relatively. The Minister for Interior, he's done well. Yeah. He's done very well. I mean, if there's anything, I like a leader who at least can show one major thing. Look at what he has done with the issue of the passports. Yeah. He's doing very well. Look at a few of them are doing quite well. Even my good friend and Aburo in aviation, he's calmed down. He's calmed down. Festus Keyamo. The last time I traveled, it was a pleasant thing to go through. It's not the best we've ever seen.
It's not the best, but at least that's an improvement.
By improvement. Festus Keyamo, he's not done too badly.
Jimmy, do you know that there's a kind of labeling of the youths, and it's part of the thing that when they say Yahoo boys. That's labeling, making them feel like
it's all that is propaganda. Because when we were growing up, what are you saying? Didn't you hear one DIG one time who said that when he looked at the political landscape, almost everybody around him had a file. He retired from the CID. Yeah. There was no EFCC when we were growing up. Some of the people that you see, so look, especially in our generation, a lot of them, you don't know their names, you don't know which schools
they went.
Everything is controversial. Yes. You don't know what training they've gotten. You don't know. So and what is unpleasant about all this, what really hurts me, is that we are the ones paying for it. Look at the country. I'd love to see a Nigerian who thinks like maybe the Rwandan president or the Burkina Faso president at least believes in his country. Our leaders don't believe in the country, but they believe in themselves. Check out all the actions that you see, most of the actions that you see. There's always a place where the tap is left open to fill their own drums. Check it out. Even a lot of the rhetoric you hear are things that are written for them by their speechmakers. They don't believe what they're saying.
None of them have actually addressed us from the heart.
Look at
this is what I have. This is my mindset.
The mindset. So people are suffering and then you are enjoying yourself.
And they are putting in a cocoon. Let me just
spending so much money on luxuries.
They put them in back to where we say that there's a cabal. Why should you believe there's a cabal all the time?
You should believe there's a cabal because there's a cabal.
Why can't you remove yourself from the cabal? Why can't you, if you're a leader?
Not be where they born you go stay. You are born from the cabal. Let me take. I leave that one. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Yes.
Quickly.
Uncle Jimmy, let's talk about solutions, right?
Yep.
What do we do?
Yes.
when we ask about who's going to select ministers, it's not the senators, right? These senators, do they have human resource management experience? No. So the standard of senators moving forward should be MBA standard. They've gone to MBA school, because when you do an MBA, you learn human resource management, you learn finance, you learn strategy, you learn marketing, you learn management, you learn so many things. So those are people we want in our policy, because if you have that experience and you've worked for 5 to 10 years, you can't tell me that somebody who is a board member or a management person in a bank will not do a better job in the Senate. They would, because they've had that experience. But we have people who, imagine, for you to be a president, all you need is WAEC. Why would this country move forward?
Okay.
Thank you.
That you have gone to another area. And I agree with you. I've always been, by the way, it's not the Senate that appoints the president.
Ministers.
It's strictly the prerogative of the president. I believe very strongly that if we want to move forward, one of the things we need to get some agency to do a profile of who can be president. Running a country is no longer something for a grade 2 teacher or a school dropout. If we can't give you NNPC to run as a business concern, we can't give you MTN to run as a business concern.
We'll give it the whole country.
How can we give you the whole country? On that note, let me let you go.
Okay, thank you.
I need to say a special thank you to you for dragging you out on your off day.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it a lot, and I don't take it for granted.
Thanks.
So all of you at home, when you are praying tomorrow, please help me let him get the reward of this movement.
Thank you very much. I appreciate
That's where we'll end it for today, and I will be back again tomorrow. Sorry, I'm not working tomorrow. I'll be back again on Tuesday at 7:30 and then at 9. I'd like to thank you all, and I'd like to thank this wonderful lady called Wonderful.
Thank you.
This is the first of this, and I hope both of us will grow on this job.
Yes.
We are ready to hand over to you. If you want to do the discourse next week, you can come. All right. So hang around. You still have many, many more exciting programs to listen to on the station. Until then, enjoy your weekend. Bye.
Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.